Cool. All right, guys. Where are we, Brandon?
Granbury, Texas.
Granbury, Texas. All right, so we are in an enhanced risk today for severe weather. And what's the main type of severe weather, Brandon?
Monster hail is the biggest threat. Secondary threats can be tornadoes and wind. They're really kind of an enhanced tornado risk right along this outflow boundary that's basically right underneath where we are now. Got a storm that is severe warned heading towards us. It is riding that boundary. Probably gonna have the best chance of success for a tornado along that area. We are almost in position, have a great view on it, and will likely be with the storm for most, if not all, the day.
And that's again because this has the best chance of producing something.
Should start getting views as we pop over this hill too.
And if you guys were following us yesterday, we were in Tennessee. Soon after we cut off the stream, traffic in Nashville prevented us from getting down in time. For the tornado in Columbia, but we were there soon after, and bad scene there. Then it was a long marathon drive back. Brandon made it through heavy rain, and here we are back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And starting tomorrow, the weather might give us a break, so let's end it with a good one, right, guys? Your ads are working. We went through Denton earlier.
Just south. Just south of it.
That's kind of not really the target right now. We are getting through Granbury, Texas. Towards Tolar, or Toller, like Moeller. Severe storm. You can see that off to our west.
Right here.
And then there you go. There you see the base of that storm. Getting a view of it. This area just has a tendency, huh, Brandon, to produce?
Usually the storms that blow up right in this little pocket down here, they tend to produce really quick when they do. I've never seen one actually
Produce a
latch
tornado
on a
through
boundary
here.
right here. But I mean, you can see the structure already starting on this thing.
Yeah, right there, where that truck's kind of blocking your
Yeah.
view. But
There's some stack plates going. It's kind of hazy, milky looking, but as it gets east, the skies clear up, so it should get some pretty good structure on this thing.
again, kudos to Brandon getting us here safely. It's a 11 hour drive from Nashville. And that was again after finishing flash flood emergency coverage at around midnight last night. So not much sleep, guys. We did take a little break in Arkansas, got a shower, and here we are. But yeah, there was an accident just to the north of where the tornado crossed the interstate, south of Nashville, I-65. And that prevented us from capturing it as it was crossing over the interstate. So bad luck.
After we got through all the drive time traffic, we still had time to catch it. Then there was an accident. Then we had to, from there it got ugly.
Very frustrating, but you know what? Again, you get perspective. You see the damage, the devastation. It was cordoned off, but of course Brandon has such a talent with his drone work. We were able to kind of get an idea and share with the world what had happened. And that was, I think the world's introduction to what happened really was through your video, Brandon.
So this looks like the new hook right here. Or the hook, yeah, that's the hook coming out.
Okay.
Question is it going to be in the notch hook?
So clearly a lot of severe weather in Texas right now. This is a severe storm. They haven't warned it as a tornado yet, but there's a possibility. Brandon has been all over it in terms of his forecasting, which storms are going to do what. If you guys have been following along on some of the streams, he's been well ahead of anyone else, really.
No.
Yeah, you have. He's being humble. We're on Highway 377, almost to Talar, Texas, just past Granbury. So this is southwest of Fort Worth. Why is today so favorable for big hail, Brandon?
A lot of instability, isolated storms, upper level support. It's really good for hail growth in the updraft. Without getting too technical, it's really hard to explain, but basically it suspends that hail up and allows it to get really big.
Because if you've seen those big hailstones, they're not really perfectly round. When we talk about grapefruit or softball or baseball, they're kind of a congealed, spiky looking thing, and that's again how the water freezes together.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. This is all outflow right here. The inflow's coming back over here. It's deep in there. Trying to figure out what I need to do.
right, so we're just getting
Come
into
on, people.
Lard, Texas. Hail is hitting us from this large supercell ahead of us, or on top of us. We're turning off of 377.
Continue on Farm to Market Road 56 for 6 miles.
And everywhere you look, people are pulling into gas stations and banks. Right now we're heading southeast.
And, not a ton of roads through here, so we have to pick them where we have them.
So again, we're chasing the DFW Metroplex right now. This is southwest of Fort Worth. We do not hail-proof the vehicle. We just avoid it through experience if we can, when possible.
When possible.
Last weekend, we completely demolished the windshield.
It's hail-proof now. It's hail-proof because any hailstone's going to hit another dent. Well, that rear flame does push so hard. I had a couple of road options. I chose the longer one to drop a little farther out in front of it because the rear of the storm was pushing through so hard that it's going to take a minute to recover.
And off to our... You might be able to kind of see that rain curtain wrapping into the storm there out front of us with the clearing. It's tough to see, but
It's going to be tough to get ahead of this thing. This guy going 25 below. Never follow people driving a company car in hail.
so we're southwest of Fort Worth, in between Stephenville and Granbury. Metroplex, a possibility of being hit some big hail today.
So when you get these southeast moving storms along these boundaries like this, RFDs typically blow through and cycle, blow through, cycle, on and off, and then every now and then they'll produce tornadoes. So you just gotta stick with them.
Gotcha.
But this thing should produce some pretty incredible structure too. And at some point we'll probably throw down some softballs. Some point soon, more than likely will.
Yeah, right now they have an estimate of 1.75 inches in this storm.
It's a tennis ball.
Damn.
Uh-oh. We got a road closure on the road I wanted to take up here. Ways down, 174 at the river. I'm guessing it's flooded. So,
flooding because it's May 31st. And surely these country roads are not making it over that, right?
No.
In a quarter mile, slide left onto Hill City Highway.
So the main target again, we're in the
Slide left onto
DFW
Hill City
Metroplex.
Highway, then turn left onto Biloxi Highway.
Alright, so what am I doing here? Am I gonna try and cut all the way across?
Turn left onto Biloxi Highway.
turn left. That's going back up towards Granbury. Then you're going to cut down. We're by Dinosaur Valley State Park right now. And yeah, it looks like the Brazos River is flooding Highway 174, which is what we wanted to take further southeast of here.
Can I make it over to 144 on this road? I can. That's gonna mean total annihilation. We just need to get to Glen Rose and figure it out from there.
Turn right onto Hill City Highway.
Ah!
What?
Always something.
Yeah.
We'll get back on it. We just gotta figure out the right route. The storm's right in the process of making a big turn, so let's let it pick a trajectory before we start
Turn right onto Hill City Highway.
overreacting.
I guess we get to follow this guy everywhere.
Company truck. Hey, if a tree comes down in front of us, I know who to call.
It's true.
Guys, we come so prepared. We come with a
We have our own tree guy, guys.
we have our own tree guy and grinder in front of us.
Pretty impressive. Name another chasing duo that has their own tree grinder.
He should be following us, though.
It's true.
Consider we're going 47 and a 70. We can do better.
All right, so we're basically heading down towards Glen Rose. We're waiting for the storm to kind of make a trajectory choice. And then we need to decide a route, because the route that we're trying to take to avoid hail, unfortunately it looks like the Brazos River has flooded Highway 174 between Morgan and Blum, Texas. Looks like this storm's going to miss the Metroplex through the south.
This one is, yes. Alright. Let's get around this guy so we're not driving in hail all day.
So we're sort of running away from a hail core. And that storm doesn't look as good as now the bone behind it.
What's that?
The Stephenville storm, Dublin storm.
Yeah, it's moon hooking. This thing's gonna reorganize.
So we have two severe storms right now we're close to and can jump on. One by Granbury, Texas, the other one by Stephenville.
Me and Stephenville have a bad history.
Really? ¿Por qué? Why?
windshields.
Ah. I don't really want to have to get another windshield. Somebody mentioned the nuclear power plant. I think we're just seeing it off to our east. If that's what that is, I'm pretty sure that is.
That's what they say it is.
That's what they want you to believe.
All right. We need to make the switch back first.
Haley's Comet ahead of us. Passing Dinosaur Valley State Park here in just a second. And then we're going to make it into Glen Rose, and we got to make our way east, southeast, hopefully. The Brazos River.
67's not close, right?
No.
Coming to Cleburne.
So you're gonna make it into Cleburne before the hail?
I think so. I think not. I don't know. No, it's racing, man.
It's what?
This thing is racing right now. It needs to slow down. I think it's about to pivot again. Pecan Plantation. So now it's going to go all the way down to Glen Rose, cut over
On 67.
67 if we have time. If not, then we'll have to make some decisions.
One of the biggest aspects of logistics when you're tracking these storms is really rivers, bodies of water. It makes it difficult to get around sometimes.
What in the world?
So that boundary is really just dropping right there.
Yeah, it's going to latch onto it. It's already starting to latch onto it. So as that boundary drops, it's pushing it south. We really need that boundary to stop. But it could sit there and ride it south like that all day.
Sheesh. So if you're looking at a map, pretty isolated supercells today. If you're looking at the radar. All around Dallas. And Fort Worth.
All right. Got one car doing exactly half the speed limit. Oh, it's a tractor.
Tractor.
I'll give you a break then.
John Deere today. Yesterday was Caterpillar.
Yep. Caterpillar's getting on a flatbed. Yeah, this thing's ready to start chucking some big boy hill.
So when I first talked about it, was what, 1.75 golf
Yeah.
or tennis ball, and now it's 2 point what? 2.5. That's not good. Granbury's getting nailed right now. Pecan Plantation gonna get nailed. Claiborne, watch out.
1.75 measured in Granbury.
And since it left Granbury, it's gotten larger.
Well, they're probably getting pelted with a lot of it now. The biggest stuff is probably getting suspended right over here right now.
So right now the storm's basically north of us as we're retreating south to Glen Rose, and then we're going to head over towards Claiborne. We wanted to drop further south to stay out of the hail, but the road is closed down there from the Brazos River flooding just by looking at the map. So again, that
It's going to
Granbury,
make it really hard to get to Cleveland.
I don't know if just want to drop down
We're going to have to.
further down, eh?
I think we're going to have to.
Yeah.
It's starting to slow up, so I was expecting that big surge to stop. 6 miles, we can make it. If we were going the speed limit, we'd be fine. But we're not. We're going 15 under. Oh, no. Now we're only going 500.
All right, so this is Glen Rose, Texas. That beast of a storm you're seeing dropping 2.5-inch hail is to our north,
Which is baseballs.
dropping our direction. Pass through Granbury, Pecan Plantation, heading towards Claiborne, which is where we want to go, but we're unsure if we're going to be able to make it.
Cleveland.
Is it Clee? It's Clee?
Cleveland.
Not Clay.
Cleveland.
Clay?
Cleveland.
Clee.
Cleveland.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be taking a left towards Cleburne. Judging by this traffic we're pulling into.
Yeah, we are. No, we're not. There's no way. So if we get to 174, it's closed.
That's what it says on the map.
So you're talking about going all the way to Hillsboro.
I'm talking about going all the way down to Meridian and over Whitney to Hillsboro, yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Good grief. Put in Hillsboro, I bet it's an hour.
I bet you it is.
I just saw somebody turn around. They're like,
It's an hour and 2 minutes. Yeah, Katrina, we're in Nevada and up near Donner Pass, so right on the border. Every winter,
all right, so go straight.
if you want to go to Hillsboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, if you want to go to, if you go to the left, that's going to be Claiborne. If you want to go
Cleveland.
Cleburne. If you want to go to Cleburne, go to the left. If you want to go to Hillsboro, go straight. So it's really depending on your comfort with this hail.
Not that comfortable.
I would say the chances are slim getting to Cleburne.
I'd say they're after 0. Oh, we could get there.
I'm sure the viewers would love it.
Oh, they would.
Until
But
there's no
we're-
view.
But we're just behind. It's just behind the boundary at the moment, so it's not about to produce a tornado, and I don't feel like destroying my car for the fun of it.
And a lot of things, when you deal with what we're talking about, guys, it's a risk-reward thing. At the stop sign, take a left.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Southwest Barnard Street.
I gotta figure out why it's so dark
Turn
when we look
left
at the
onto
brighter sky
Southwest
like that.
Barnard Street. Then you will arrive at your destination.
I won't turn mine off.
Yeah, I got it. So take a left here. And then a right on Elm Street, which is that stoplight, it looks like.
I've been through here before.
It's a cute little town.
Last time I was here, it was all closed. No
Flooding?
power. Ice storm.
Ice storm. I think I remember the video.
And out
Was it
from
the
here,
tower?
it was just back this way. It was the cars and the curve that were
Yeah,
kept
but
sliding
you
out.
did a video of the water tower too, right?
I didn't. Not here.
Where was the water tower one?
I don't remember.
There's a couple guys up on the roof. Hey guys. It's not a good place to be.
Good view.
I don't think that's why they're up there.
I don't either.
So our reward would be an incredible view of a tornado, for instance.
Or great structure.
But just to get your
Or my
car
windshield sitting in my lap.
demolished, just for car demolished, I would not say that's a good idea. So because of a closure on due to flooding, it appears on 174 with the Brazos River, we're going down towards Hillsborough. Right, and then in 0.8 miles, take a left, 56 south. Brazos isn't crazy here. Just keep following here.
It may have been crazy and knocked the bridge out. Who knows? I do know one thing.
The last thing you want to do is get there and turn around.
Yes. And that. I like baseball. I like turtles too.
I like turtles. It's 56 south, coming in 0.3 miles left. It's going to be like a Y, so I think where that car's on the left-hand side turning onto this road.
Okay.
And the sign should say towards Meridian, I believe.
It doesn't look right.
No. Take a left. See?
Okay. Similar ETA is going straight
Yeah.
and not flirting with hail. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Biloxi. It's the Biloxi River we just crossed over.
That makes more sense.
There's two severe storms here southwest of Fort Worth. One just to our north that is crashing towards Cleburne. And there's one following behind it that's went through Stephenville, heading towards Walnut Springs, which is technically where we're going.
Yep. We're going to stay right in between them.
So we're keeping both storms kind of in our ability to intercept at our leisure, as long as we don't have to drive through massive hail, which Stephenville storm, 1.5 inch hail. The storm to our north, 2.5 inch hail. So very destructive.
At some point, we'll be able to actually turn around and look at the storm. Here's the side view. Is that your view or my view?
That's your view.
Okay. Not a great view.
Kind of retreating, guys. And when you have 2.5 inch hail on your behind you,
We're not retreating. We're going all the way we can.
that makes sense. We're outgunned.
Only way we can go is stay in front of the storm. And keep the next one in play. And keep our windshields out of our lap. Our windshield.
Just kind of scanning through some of the storms here. The storm just to our north has the largest hail in the state right now.
Stephenville's probably about to make a run at that. So when we get to Walnut Springs, we gotta pick one. Both of them look like they could go a long way.
Get a view of it.
No, I'm just looking.
That gives you guys a view.
Want me to turn here?
No. You could, but I think it's better to go
Yeah,
through.
just go all the way to Walnut.
Exactly. That's giving you a view to our west.
The storm's back behind that a little bit.
Every time we do these things, we're running away from storms. I have Monty Python. Run away, run away.
Run away until there's a reason to run to.
Yep.
No, you don't really. You just gotta stay with them until there's a reason to get on it.
And last weekend when we destroyed the windshield, it was worth it. Got a nice tornado by San Angelo, or by Fort Stockton rather.
A couple of them.
Yep. Couple of them.
And the day before that, we destroyed the windshield again.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that was the same destroyed windshield.
And we're not really pointlessly destructive people, like in general. It's just not something fun. We work hard for our things.
It's expensive and time consuming to destroy things.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still saying that Stephenville storm is 1.5 inch hail. That storm coming into Cleburne is 2.5 inch hail.
.75 now.
Woo! What's the state record?
6.5.
Wow.
That's only because nobody found the one the other day.
True. We were around some pretty massive stones the other day down by Fort Stockton, and that area is known for some pretty big hail.
Yeah, I think the biggest hailstone was just a couple years ago in south of San Antonio. One of the Del Rio storms that fired up.
Yeah.
I believe.
And so we're dropping into Walnut Springs here pretty shortly. That's southwest of Fort Worth. 2 storms kind of on our tail. One crossing through Cleburne with 2.75-inch hail, and another one south of Stephenville. And we're kind of in the middle of both of those storms.
The crazy part is neither one of them's got the look of just the giant hail you had. Like the giant hail. But I have a feeling Stephenville's about to go there.
So essentially when we get down here to Walnut Springs, we're going to have to make a decision which storm we're going to really go after.
Alright, looks like Cleburne has finally completely lost its low-level mezzo. And now needs to reorganize, which is a good thing. Because of that big blowout.
Are they going to connect?
It could, but the mezzos will stay isolated on both. It should. If they do connect and the mezzos don't stay isolated, then we'll go for the Stevensville storm as a tail end, Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about it.
So this is Highway 144, southbound. We're about ready to make our way into Walnut Springs.
Oh man, a bunch of chasers took 67.
Did they?
Yeah. And they're finding out the hail size.
So we chose not to go 67 into Cleburne because we knew we wouldn't be able to escape that 2.75-inch hail. So you're probably going to see some massive damage on social media.
I think we need to double back on this Hico storm.
Which one?
The one coming towards Hico. The Walnut Springs, go back west and run right into it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wait and see.
All right. Well, we're getting into
No, we
Walnut
need
Springs.
to do that.
To Hico?
Yeah, there's a storm blowing up in front of this one.
All right. In 1.5 miles, we're going to take a right on 927 west.
Or
Go to Meridian.
let's just go to Morgan. No. Let me think of this. We got storms trying to pop. I wish I could see 5 minutes in the future. Go to Meridian.
All right.
Because this thing's going to drop below the highway. We're not going to have a view anyway. We're going to get cut off.
Just keep heading straight south on 144.
Thank you, sir.
This is as good as the volume gets right now, guys. Believe it or not, we haven't stopped chasing for about 2 weeks now. And this is a new setup. We have some new things that we'll be implementing, but you can't really implement things when you're on the road constantly with no break in between traveling from...
And all the things that you're ordering are specialty items you have to order online, and they're sitting at your house.
in Mississippi for Brandon. So this is the best you got. Sorry.
And I'll try and talk louder.
And a lot of it is Brandon has what we call the Mississippi mumble. And when he's tired, which is exactly what we both are, after driving overnight from Nashville, Tennessee, he has that tendency. We're going to correct it.
And I think out loud to myself sometimes, so it's not really meant to be heard.
And that is true. He'll be looking at radar or something and mention something that I understand, but to you guys it's kind of weird because you're not seeing him what he's doing.
So excuse my conversations with myself.
But if he says something that you guys need to hear, I'll repeat it. I usually have a better voice enunciating. And I being Jonathan Petramala. Brandon Clement is WXChasing. And he is in the driver's seat. This is his channel, WXChasing. We're chase partners. I'm more of a storyteller. Brandon, and a journalist. Brandon is excellent forecaster and driver and knower of all things storms. So if you guys have questions when we're kind of slow, you can ask and I'll relay them and he will answer them in a very simple way.
Try to.
And if he doesn't answer them a simple way, I'll ask him again to clarify for us. Thanks, Christine, for sharing that. Frederick, we actually did not run into hail. We ran away from it.
We got in a little bit. It was small.
Yeah, very small.
Maybe a couple ping pong.
But
foosball size hail.
2.75 inch hail in that storm we ran away from. 2.5 inch hail now in the storm we're looking at, which is heading towards Hico and Walnut Springs.
It's coming, but
and Meridian.
We've also got other storms trying to pop out just in front.
So we're on 144 heading south towards Meridian. And there's the storms popping out on front he was talking about hitting the windshield. It's some melted hail right now.
Melted hail.
Michael says he's in Granbury and had some PETA quarter-size hail on his house.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Glad it wasn't bigger.
People are asking, what do you think the chances are of seeing an actual tornado today versus just structure, thunderstorms, and hail?
30%.
That's not bad.
See SPC have like a 5%, that's 5% within 25 miles of a given point of a large area, where we're focused in that area and we're moving that area along the highest probability of chance the whole way. So when I say 30%, I don't mean 30% for the whole tornado watch box, but 30% that we see one where we're tracking these storms.
And it's really a skill to kind of forecast and look at a storm and the atmosphere surrounding it to understand if that has a chance. And that's really the difference between success and failure and sometimes.
No, it's traffic, wrecks, roads, rivers that are flooded, trees that are down, power lines that are down, bad drivers, tractors, trains, planes, ships.
That's true. Forecasting is actually the easiest part. And we're about 5 miles from
Clown
Meridian.
with a chainsaw juggling. I mean, you name it, we've run into it in the last 2 weeks.
About dropping into Meridian here on 144. We got those severe storms to our north, going for Cleburne right now. And then Hico, Walnut Springs. There's some storms popping out of that storm in front of it, just outside of Hico.
And I know it seems like we're a little ways in front of this, but we got to keep enough distance in front if we want to keep both storms in play until one of them starts getting that look.
Brandon's not ready to put a ring on it yet.
No.
Until we get into Meridian, where do you want to go from there?
So I think we're waiting on the low level jet probably about an hour and a half. So I'll probably wait right up here for just a second.
Okay. A buddy of ours just told us, was it yesterday, 2 days ago? Without the low level flow, there is no show.
There's no low level show.
No level flow, so there is no
Yeah.
show.
Without the low level flow, there's no low level show.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Rigsby.
Shout out at Rigsby. Just north of Meridian, Texas. Turned off at 144 to get a better look.
Just looking for a spot to pull up and park for a sec.
While we wait for that low level flow, so we might be able to show you guys a low level show.
What's the name of the movie? It's all about the flow, y'all.
Ali G?
No.
Oh, Eurovision.
Eurovision.
Yeah, Eurovision. Yeah, it's actually happening right now. The real Eurovision, ironically.
I'll grab the drone.
Yeah, it's right here, dude. Brandon. There you go. Pretty Texas view right there, huh? All right. So Brandon's kind of making a decision still on which storm he wants to commit to, put a ring on. Cleburne storm, Hico storm. I think he's wanting the Hico storm. If we're going to be a betting man right now. So the Hico storm, 2.5 inch hail. Cleburne storm, still 2.75 inch hail, so massive hail.
Storm right shot going up. What's your betting?
Home point updated.
I'm betting you like the Hico storm.
I bet I do too.
I've been with Brandon enough to kind of get an idea for what he's going to prefer. with storms and girls.
I bet you're right. Bet you $500 you're wrong. Or right, whichever one you want to take.
At least we're not dealing with Nashville traffic trying to catch one. Like yesterday.
Biggest risk of traffic right now is one of these fences breaking.
Maybe just tell them to move. Lars had some pretty big hail.
Alright.
Had questions for Northeast Louisiana later.
Yeah, so Northeast Louisiana, along I-20, Shreveport, Ruston, Monroe, Tallulah, Minden, Arcadia, Start, Rayville, Delhi.
He's just showing off.
All those areas along I-20 into Mississippi and Alabama can all get some really big hail today. The key to all of it is isolated thunderstorm development. So if you have a supercell that's isolated, there's a good chance you're going to see some big hail with it.
So right now we're just north of Meridian, Texas, looking to our north and west. We're in between two storms. There's a severe storm by Hico, Texas, and one going through Cleburne, Texas, and he's going to choose the
Hico
storm. I won, yay.
Even though I've chased this before, you know that, right?
Yes.
Last time I chased this, we went all day on this thing, never got its act together, and then right at sunset, it went nuts. It produced this long photogenic tube right by Hillsboro, just south of Hillsboro along 35.
Okay. 35 seems like it has some pretty photogenic tornadoes.
Yeah. This wasn't one of those, but it was photogenic, but it wasn't the one I'm wanting.
Yeah.
It was a really long tornado, just kind of came way out the top of the cloud, just planted.
Right now it appears this is the last day chase for a while, hopefully. We need a little bit of a break. Brandon's not done. He's going to go chase some cosmic energy. I'm going to go chase a few Jack and Cokes and hang by my pool for a couple of days. Actually, I'm gonna chase some ranch waters. Do you guys know what ranch waters are? I'll give you a second to tell me if you know it. If you're from Texas, you should know. All right, so they just extended the severe
For both.
for both.
Sure.
Where do you want me to push this to? The Hico?
No.
Because we're gonna get into Meridian here in a second.
Cranfill's Gap.
So I'm not gonna put that in. Do you want me to put Hillsboro? Gatesville?
We should put in Cranfill's Gap.
Frederick's close. I do it with Topo Chico, fresh squeezed lime juice, and then your choice of a Blanco tequila, so a white tequila. I like 1800, which is 1800 tequila. That's my favorite Blanco. And then I like to make sure the rim has tahine all the way around it, the nice spicy tahine. You can sit in the pool and drink those all day long.
Okay, which way?
We're going to keep going, and you're going to take a right in 1.3 miles onto 22 West. Texas 2 weeks ago. And I'll be flying home tomorrow. Brandon's going to be flying to Rapid City.
Yeah, for any of you guys along and north of the Red River, there is a potential for a really, really big aurora. I said Red River, anywhere northern U.S., across the central U.S., there's potential. It's still early, so we don't know exactly how big it's going to be, but there's a lot of excitement.
So what happened with this? The sun released like a massive
Coronal mass ejection.
coronal mass ejection.
Basically, explosion on the sun releases a bunch of electromagnetic mass directed towards Earth. And that's what causes northern lights, and it's a really big one.
Is this the first Cat 4? Is that what you said?
They're talking about issuing the first Cat 4 watch or whatever it is, which calls for a.
To give you an idea just how exciting it is for Brandon, we had 2 hours of sleep after driving all day yesterday, chasing all these storms, flash flood emergency, blah, blah, blah. Exhausted. And we wake up 2 hours later, the first thing I hear from him shows me a picture of the sun and the coronal mass ejection. Guess what we're doing tomorrow? I go, nope.
Yellow Jackets. I thought it was Florida Lees. I was going to show you.
No, they're not Saint fans here. Taking a right here. A right here. They have some cool courthouses here in Texas. Thanks, Hockey Queen. Safe and successful chase.
Easy basket.
We're going to Cransville's Gap
And you thought I was just making stuff up?
on Highway 22. We're going after the Hico storm. 2.5-inch hail.
It's going to get bigger. I think it's got some storm ingestion to do.
Oh, there is a tornado warning up
There is
north.
a tornado warning.
There we go.
We drove through there earlier this morning.
Yep,
Yeah,
observed.
Observed.
That's not an idea. That's in your favorite part to chase tornadoes, too.
I
Brandon.
actually like that area a lot.
There's a restaurant here called Ay Jalisco.
Which way?
Straight. Highway 22.
Stop.
I don't know why it doesn't say Highway 22.
It's closed. Oh no, it's a lane closure. Okay.
So
Right
we
lane
need to
closed.
go
Yeah,
back.
go back.
Hey, all subs.
Hey.
We've been looking for you for a few days. For those of you who don't know, Allsups has the best gummy worms in the world. We just discovered this. By the way, it's Hico.
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 I thought it was Hico this whole time. I've called it Hico incorrectly for years. So whoever told us that, tell them thank you.
One guy goes, Hico, Hico, it's off to Storms we go. Christine, I've had the gummy, the Harborough from all over Europe, every country with the different languages. But I'm telling you, the Allsup ones are special.
They're good. I'm not even a gummy fan. They're good.
Yeah, Michael, we had been chasing further towards New Mexico, and that's when we first started stopping at them, and then we had a lot of success with tornadoes. So they're kind of our lucky tornado chasing gummy worms, and they're good. And so we looked for them the other day, and then I did a map search, and yeah, this is the only one I think in the area. And they're the gummy worms from Allsup's, which is a gas station chain based in New Mexico. I haven't had their food, their Mexican food, or any food.
Their burritos are famous, especially among chasers.
But honestly, the gas stations remind me of like late 1980s, early 90s, you know, which would have been cool. But now you have like Wawa or Sheetz or Buc-ee's. Got some sheep over here. They're heading in. They see the storm coming, so they're going. I'll show you. That's a little. No, I showed them. That's a little pen right there. All the sheep are heading back on their own, and they have a Great Pyrenees guard dog. They know what's coming. 2.5-inch hail.
Here's the storm blowing up right in front of the storm.
Do you remember that movie Swingers back in the late 90s? The guy behind the guy. This is the storm in front of the storm.
Don't.
Great movie. If you like that type of music, swing, Cherry Poppin' Daddies. I think Big Bad Voodoo Daddy had a cameo in it.
Waiting for these raindrops to start bouncing.
I did a long drive through Europe once, Christine, and I started in Germany. And those gummy bears, the Haribo gummy bears, are really what got me through. I ate so many bags.
You got a bunch of those in France too.
I did, because they're just good snacks. They're kind of filling. You don't have to eat a lot of them.
Very healthy.
Yeah, sure.
They don't gum up the works.
So, this storm, what's it doing? Just kind of ingesting right now?
It's got some stuff blowing out in front, but the mezzo looks really quite healthy. Not showing a whole lot of low-level rotation yet, but not shocking. That low-level jet. When I say low-level jet, the surface winds. The winds at the surface tend to pick up late afternoon, evening. Low-level jet moves in, enhances the tornado risk, and we're starting to get to what I call tornado time in that 5 to 8 o'clock area where most tornadoes happen this time of the year in this area of the country.
I qualify it a couple more ways, too. This time of year, this part of the country.
Yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that, the day before that.
Yeah.
This is where all the ingredients tend to be maximized. What you got working right now?
We're almost to Cransfield's Gap.
No. On Wi-Fi?
Oh, Starlink.
That's the one I got too. Which means we get onto this mezzo, we might not have anything.
Well, if you've been following the channel, you know one thing about tornadoes, they love no cell service. towards Ferry.
Or Cransfield Gap.
Didn't you grow up in Ferry? With Tinkerbell?
Cransfield Gap.
Yeah.
Cut down to here.
Cut down to here. Specifically Turnersville? Or
Bog Cemetery.
Mosheim? Bog Cemetery? On 219?
Yeah, and then we'll have, depending on the angle of the storm, we can cut over to Clifton or to Turnersville to Mosheim. And we've got another closure to deal with at Highway 6 by Valley Mills.
That's the Gary Creek. Looks like it's flooded.
This is becoming complicated. As long as we can get to 35 in front of the storms, that's my main thing, because that's where I think they're going to maximize.
So if we can't cross over there, we're going to have to go all the way down to Turnersville.
Right.
Do you want to do that, or would you rather stay on top of it and avoid that and get down to Clifton?
I would rather avoid it
Then,
than Clifton.
Here's the problem with Clifton. Highway 6 looks like there's some closure on because of the river by the Valley Mills Youth Complex. So that's not going to really be an option. We're going to have to cut over
To 84 to Oglesby, McGregor, coming down 36 if we need to. We can come down, we can go past Cransfield Gap to Lanham,
Yeah.
cut to Jonesboro,
Yeah, that's going to be the
and
best
drop
route.
south.
Yeah. That's going to be the best route.
And just poke out in front, because it's healthy storm, but not a lot of low level rotation yet. So. We're gonna have to move fast.
All right. Well, we have 14 miles before we take a left onto the farm to market. 1602.
I'm not saying race, but let's go ahead and move on up.
So if you can barely hear us, it's usually when we're kind of mumbling to each other as we're making our plan of attack. We're trying to stay ahead of this storm. Brandon believes that everything's going to kind of get its act together at the highest moment by I-35. So
Generally speaking.
So in the meantime, we just got to kind of keep it in play, dancing with it, essentially. We're trying to tease it. Just ahead of it, just enough that if it does something stupid, we're there. If it doesn't, we're also ahead of it and can meet it on I-35. So we're going down towards Cranfield's Gap, and then going to go past to Lanham, probably down to Jonesboro. We're dealing with a problem of road closures. Apparently that there's some rivers and creeks that are over their banks. De Araborse, and they have flooded roads. storm that we're on right now, going towards Meridian, 2.5-inch hail in it. It's doing some Pac-Man action on some other storms right now.
I'm about to do some Pac-Man option on some chips.
10 miles, take a left. You want some of your chips? I can hand them to you.
I don't know.
You can have some of my Doritos.
It's more fun just doing a grab bag.
I'll eat those. I have 3 bags of those, dude.
I'm eating one up now.
That's fine.
You only get 2 opportunities.
Cranfill's Gap, population 277.
They had a ripping flood.
Yeah, they did. Took out that little fence right there. Came through the park.
Took out that bridge.
Took out the bridge in the park. A little flash flooding here recently in Cransfill's Gap. Hence why all the rivers and stuff are off there, out of their banks. Looks like some British storm chasing tourists. You're like, Jonathan, how do you know that? You can tell. How do tour vans typically handle, like if you're on a tornado tour, how do those typically handle hail?
Stay out.
Stay out no matter what?
Stay out, stay back.
I'm always going to have that Steve-O story in my mind.
I see niceties up here. Good look at it here. Just a second. And I'm sorry for the long way around, guys. It's road closures. Nothing I can do about it. Or hail.
We're not in a rush to get some 2.5-inch hail. But if you look towards the right of the screen, that is where the hook a little bit on this storm is.
See, just a second. How much farther than the road?
telling you 10 miles back there.
I do not blame you for my thoughts. Yet. Give it time.
So a little bit of the structure of that storm we were focusing on.
Pretty ragged. Still a very healthy storm.
And this is the severe storm that just went through Hico and it's heading towards Cranfield's Gap. We're trying to race out ahead of it so we're not caught up in that 2.5-inch hail, which is what, baseball?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's tennis ball or baseball. I think it's baseball. Yeah.
3 miles, take a left.
It's starting to try and rotate a little. Right chaw.
Right in front of us, to the
Right
right.
in front of us.
Right to the right. There's a little rotation. Over there.
It's like both.
We have 2 areas of rotation. One you can't see. Let's see if I can. There you go.